back to our channel. Ruth here, and in today's video I'd like to share with you 5 success habits on how to become disciplined. So these are the 5 success habits of disciplined people. Number 1, they remove distractions. Now, how many of you agree that right now, nowadays, there's too many distractions out there? There's news and notifications. I mean, you know, if we look at the amount of apps we've downloaded on our phone, from WhatsApp to messages to Facebook Messenger to Instagram, Twitter, what else? TikTok, Telegram, GroupMe, Signal, and the list goes on. YouTube notifications, not to mention. There's so many distractions out there, and you know what? Sometimes these things can actually sabotage our productivity because you know, like if your phone goes bing every, I don't know, minute or 30 seconds and you want to have a look at it, it's going to actually disrupt your workflow. So here is my recommendation. If you're working on something and working on your goal or your business, etc., it's very important that you turn off distractions. So how do you do that? You can actually choose to turn off notifications, or if you're working on something really, really important and you don't bother turning off notifications, you can actually place your phone in another room where you can't see and can't hear, unless of course if there's a family emergency, you might have like a personal phone with you, you know, just in case you're a mom and you know someone rings you from the school and say you need to pick up your sick child. So I understand that's important, but as much as possible, reduce and remove distractions, because that usually really disrupts your workflow. If you've allocated, let's say, an hour that day to work on your business, to I don't know, maybe look at your Google Ads to grow your business marketing side, and you're distracted every 10 minutes, that time that you've allocated has just gone wasted. So do not waste that precious time. Make sure that it's fully dedicated to accomplishing your most important task of the day. And after you've completed that, you can go back and check your messages and your notifications. You can go and check the latest YouTube videos and reply to, you know, social medias, etc. But make sure you lock in that sacred time to work on your dreams, because at the end of the day, guess what? You only have the one life to live. You only have one chance. And so make it your best. Leave a legacy behind. Number 2, disciplined people always do the hardest thing first. Now, some of you have heard of the acronym MIT. What is your most important task? What is your MIT? Now, some of you would have heard the term eat the frog. The first time I heard of this term was through Brian Tracy, but then since then I've heard of the same term from Craig Ballantyne, who's like a planner guru. But apparently it originated from Mark Twain, and there's a saying about, you know, eating the frog, which is to accomplish the most difficult task first in the morning. So for example, if you have got, let's say, 3 tasks to accomplish that day, and one of them is really important, really urgent, and you really don't feel like doing it, and it's difficult, guess what? That's the one you should be doing first, because once you've accomplished that, you'll be empowered to do the other 2 tasks. And I actually employ this in my work life. So at the moment, I'm a partner in a law firm, and I actually sometimes have to work on really urgent cases. So once I get into my office, I'll look at the different emails that come through, the different things I have to do on that day, any deadlines, you know, court deadlines, etc., that we have to lodge. And I look at the most difficult case, you know, perhaps it's a new case I've never dealt with. It's a new circumstance. It's really difficult, and there's lots of materials to go through. And the deadline is approaching. So what I'll do is I will actually try my best to actually accomplish the most difficult task that day. And I don't do anything else unless, until and unless I've accomplished that task. And once I've accomplished that, I feel this sense of empowerment, where I can actually move on to the next task, which is the next most difficult MIT, and then the next one. And then by the end of the day, you know, the last task becomes so easy because now my brain is trained to do the most difficult task, and so everything else becomes a little bit easier than that. I remember when I was a fitness trainer in a gym. Now, some of you might know that the program Body Pump. It's really popular here in Australia, but it actually originated from New Zealand. It's a program by Les Mills Body Pump. So I was actually an instructor for a couple of years at the gym. And I remember my coach, when I was training to be a trainer, she used to say to me, maybe at home when you train, you double your weight and put on lots of weights when you're squatting and doing other things, so that when you come to the gym and you teach the class, it becomes a lot easier. And I find it really, really true, because even in my, in my other personal training sessions, if I've gone up a higher weight, and then I come down to like a little bit lesser weight, I feel like it's a lot easier because your muscles are trained. So in the same way, with our brain, we need to train our brain to do the most difficult tasks, and to overcome that, and then everything else becomes easier. So that's the second thing that disciplined people do. They always do the hardest thing first. Number 3, disciplined people make decisions. Okay, whether it's right or wrong, they weigh up the options and they make a decision, and they just do it. So they have to make a decision. Now, I understand there might be times where, it's too difficult to make a decision, but you need to make a decision. Well, you might think, well, what if the decision is wrong? Well, then you learn from your mistake, and then we move on. We improve our practices, right? But make decisions. Don't leave it lingering, because sometimes the more you leave it, the more clutter you have. Maybe not physically, but in your mind. So it's really important that we make a decision and make a solid one. Number 4, they have a just do it attitude. Some of you might know the brand Nike. I love the brand Nike. I think it's a cool brand. In fact, I used to wear Nike shoes, but I can't anymore because my podiatrist told me not to, because I've got flat feet apparently. But anyways, too much information. But Nike has a sign, right? The tick, it says just do it. So disciplined people actually have a just do it attitude. They don't linger around, and they know that they just have to try. If they fail, well, they get back up until they figure it out. So don't overthink things. Sometimes if you want to be successful and disciplined and you want to achieve a goal, just do it, right? You make a decision and you stick with it, and you take that next step and just get it done. And finally, the 5th success habit for disciplined people is this. They actually reward themselves. I think we like that, hey? So a reward doesn't mean it has to be expensive. It could be that after a long day's hard work, you want to go and take a walk in the park, or you might want to bring your family out for a picnic on a weekend. You reward yourself for having accomplished the task that you endeavored to do that particular week. And it doesn't have to be lavish and expensive. It could be a simple thing like taking a bath and having a me time for 20 minutes. Or it could be watching your favorite TV show on Netflix that evening, because now you've accomplished something and you want to reward yourself with some me time. So definitely reward yourself. So I hope you enjoyed the contents of today's video. And last but not least, would you be so kind to hit the like and subscribe button so we can keep you motivated? And you know what? That's gonna mean the world to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.